Elevate helps you thrive. Chapter 1: The Surprising Power of Atomic Habits. We often think that success demands massive action, but the truth is that success is the result of tiny habits consistently repeated. If you get just 1% better every day for a year, you become 37 times better at the end of that year. Get 1% worse each day, and you spiral towards zero really fast. By the same token, imagine a plane flying from LA to New York. If the pilot adjusts the route by just 3.5 degrees south, the plane won't land in New York. It will end up in Washington, D.C. The same goes for life. A tiny shift can have dramatic consequences, for the better and for the worse. Real progress isn't linear. It's like a bamboo. For years, it grows underground, unseen. Then, almost overnight, it shoots up 90 feet in the air. We've been taught to focus on goals, but goals are the result, not the process. Systems are what actually drive change. If you are a coach, your goal is to win, but your system is how you recruit, train, and lead. If you are an entrepreneur, your goal is to grow a business, but your system is how you test ideas, hire smart, and reach customers. Winners and losers have the same goals. It's the system that separates them. British cycling had the goal to win the Tour de France for decades and failed. Then, they changed the system. They improved everything by just 1%. The result? Olympic dominance, multiple Tour de France titles, and a decade of historic wins. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. Chapter 2: How your habits shape your identity, and vice versa. What is it so easy to fall back into bad habits and so hard to maintain good ones? It's not a lack of motivation. It's a misalignment between your habits and your identity. Most people try to change their life by focusing on outcomes, losing weight, saving money. But the best and most lasting change starts at the identity level. Instead of asking, "What do I want to achieve?" ask, "Who do I want to become?" Instead of "I'm trying to quit smoking," say, "I am not a smoker." It's a powerful declaration of who you are becoming. Every small habit you build is a vote for the person you want to be. Every page you write affirms, "I'm a writer." Every healthy means confirms, "I'm someone who takes care of his body." These small votes compound into a powerful shift in how you see yourself. As your identity changes, so does your behavior, naturally. True transformation is about embodying the kind of person you want to be. Once your habits align with that vision, momentum takes over. You become the type of person who shows up, who follows through, who no longer struggles with the old versions of themselves. The most powerful question isn't, "How can I reach my goal?" but, "Who is the kind of person who reaches goals like this?" Then, every small habit becomes a statement. This is who I am now. Chapter 3: Better Habits in 4 Steps. Habits are your brain's way of saving energy. They free mental space for bigger challenges. Every habit, whether good or bad, follows up a 4-step loop. 1. The cue. You see or feel something, like boredom. 2. The craving. You want a relief. 3. The response. You check your phone or grab a snack. 4. The reward. You feel better. Once you understand the loop, you can take control of it and use it to your advantage. If you want to build better habits, design them using these 4 principles. 1. Make it obvious. Place cues where you can see them. 2. Make it attractive. Pair the habit with something you enjoy. 3. Make it easy. Start small and focus on consistency. 4. Make it satisfying. Celebrate small wins to reinforce the behavior. If you want to break a bad habit, reverse the formula. 1. Make the cues invisible. 2. Make the behavior unattractive. 3. Increase friction. And finally, remove the rewards. Even small tweaks can disrupt the loop. Chapter 4: The First Law: Make it obvious. Most of your life happens on autopilot because your brain is a master of pattern recognition. With repetition, it learns what comes next and begins to predict and respond. That's how habits are born. One minute you're reaching for a snack, the next you're scrolling your phone, all without thinking. So awareness comes first. If you're blind to your behavior, you're powerless to improve it. That's why the first law of behavior change is make it obvious. In this respect, trained conductors in Japan use a method called pointing and calling. They literally point to dials and call out what they see. It may seem trivial, but it cuts error by up to 85% because it forces attention. You can apply this powerful trait in your daily life by pointing and calling out loud what you're about to do. I'm reaching for the couch to binge watch even though I should meet with my friends. I'm about to check my phone when I should be working. Saying it loud makes the habit conscious. What was mindless becomes mindful. To truly take control of your habits, you need to see them clearly. For that, you can create a habit scorecard, following the steps. First, write down your daily routine, every action from waking up to going to bed. Step 2, mark each behavior with a plus, positive, if it aligns with your goals, with a negative, if it works against your growth, with an equal, which means neutral. It neither helps nor hurts. Don't try to change everything at once. Namely, the habit is enough to begin the shift. When you make your habits obvious, you make change possible. Chapter 5. The best way to start a new habit. You want to change but motivation fades and old routines take over? Use implementation and pension. It works by eliminating indecision and vague goals. Studies show that people who make these specific plans are up to 3 times more likely to stick to a new habit. The formula is simple but powerful. I will specify the behavior at time in location. I will work for 30 minutes at 6 a.m. in the park instead of I will get in shape, because getting in shape is just too vague. It doesn't call to action. You can also try to link your new habit to an existing one. This is called habit stacking. And the formula is just as simple. After, describe your current habit. I will, engaging, describe the new habit. Example, after I make coffee, I will write my goals for the day. These links create a natural flow by not starting from zero. Just need to find a habit you can build on and start. Success loves structure. Give your habits a home. Chapter 6. Motivation is overrated. Environment matters more. We often think the secrets to change are more motivation and discipline, but what actually determines your success is your environment. Every habit starts with a cue, and the cues we respond to the most are the ones we see. That's why simply rearranging your environment can change your behavior. When water was placed in a visible spot in a hospital cafeteria, soda sales dropped by 11.5%, and water sales rose by 25%. Why? It made water more visible and soda less visible. So you want to read more. Leave your book on your pillow. Make your good habits impossible to ignore by making their cues obvious, so that your environment becomes your cue. Ask yourself, what is each room or space in your life prompting you to do? If the answer is unhelpful, change it, reshape the space. Use the rule, one space, one use. Create distinct zones, even if they are just corners for working, reading, speaking, or simply relaxing. When each space has a clear purpose, your habits become easier to maintain. You do not work, relax, and eat on the sofa. If you do so, you did not draw any borders between these activities, and you will find yourself eating and relaxing more often than working. By the same token, new environments are powerful because they eliminate the triggers of old habits. Trying to eat better? Try a new grocery store, one where your old habits have no ground. Even small shifts like writing at a new table or charging your phone in another room can lead to big changes. Create your habits by designing your environment. Shape what you see, and you will shape what you do. Chapter 7. The Secret to Self-Control. We are told that self-control is everything. If you want to stop a bad habit, just try harder. The truth is that habits don't survive when their environment disappears. So focus more on environment design. Take the Vietnam War, for example. Nearly 1 in 5 US soldiers was addicted to heroin. Yet, once they returned home, only 5% kept using it. What changed? Not their willpower, but their environment. They left behind the cues that fueled the addiction. So, the best way to stop a bad habit is not with willpower, but less exposure. For that, you can invert the first law of behavior change and make your bad habit invisible. Examples: you want to stop overspending, unsubscribe from those tempting shopping emails. You're tired of wasting time on your phone, delete the apps that steal your focus. People with the best self-control are the ones who use it the least. That's the secret. Chapter 8: How to make a habit irresistible. The second law of behavior change says, make it attractive. Changing bad habits is more about designing desire than it is about forcing discipline. Because habits don't start with willpower, they start with craving. And that craving is fueled by dopamine, the brain's motivation molecule. Dopamine doesn't spike when you receive a reward. It rises before the reward, during the anticipation phase. You don't open Instagram because you need it. You do it because your brain expects a hit of pleasure. So if you want to build better habits, stop focusing on what you should do and start making those habits something you want to do. For that, use temptation bundling. Pair what you need with what you love. This is a simple formula that hooks a necessary habit to something enjoyable. Examples: only watch your favorite show while working out. Only check your favorite sports app after making 3 sales calls. You can take it up a notch by using the stocking and bundling approach to build a momentum loop as follows. After current habit, I will, habit I need. After the habit I need, I will, the habit I want. Example: after I make my morning coffee, the current habit, I will say one thing I'm grateful for, the habit I need. Then I will read the news, the habit I want. The habits flow naturally. One action feeds the next. You create momentum, and momentum sustains motivation. Anticipation drives action. It's not the reward that drives the behavior, it's the expectation of it. So make good habits hard to resist. Chapter 9: The role of family and friends in shaping your habits. We are a reflection of our people. We absorb the habits of those around us. Social environment is the hidden force shaping our habits. We mirror 3 types of people: the close, the family and friends; the many, the crowd, the community; and the powerful, those with status and influence. You might meal prep because your coworkers do, or meditate because your favorite author does. Your tribe equals your habits. If you want to change your behavior, join a group already living your goals. Their habits become your baseline. Want to read more? Join a book club. Want to become an entrepreneur? Surround yourself with entrepreneurs. As the saying goes, tell me who your friends are, and I will tell you who you are. Because we all want to fit in, and when we are part of a group, you will start to think, I can believe like that group. If your friends stay out late, spend money on foolish things, it's harder to stick to early mornings, healthy spending, and saving habits. But if your group values growth, health, and discipline, so will you. Social proof shapes the behavior. In unfamiliar situations, Willie Caron doesn't ask, what is everyone else doing? This is why we copy fashion trends. We'd rather be wrong with the group than right alone. In one experiment, chimps abandoned a smarter survival strategy just to match their group's inefficient method. We do it too. If your circle isn't growing, you might start your growth just to stay close. So you want to level up, you join a group where your desired behavior is the norm. Chapter 10: How to find and fix the causes of your bad habits. Every habit is a solution, just not always a good one. Habits look like actions, but they are really emotional coping mechanisms. Cravings are your brain's guesses about what will fix a feeling, but they are not always right. That cookie? Maybe it's not about being hungry, it's about needing comfort. That endless scrolling? Maybe you're not curious, you are just lonely or overwhelmed. You need to understand the real motive behind your habits by asking, why am I doing it? Once you know what you're really trying to fix, you can replace your old habits with better ones. You can relieve your anxiety by smoking, or you can relieve the same anxiety by running. Same motive, different habits, different outcomes. The flip side of the second law of behavior change is this: make bad habits repulsive. How? By telling yourself the truth. The cigarette is stealing my breath and my money, not calming me. This scroll session is draining my self-esteem and wasting my time, not entertaining me. When a habit feels gross or harmful, your brain won't chase it. Fix the root, not just the routine. That's how real change begins. Chapter 11. The third law. Make it easy. Work slowly, but never backward. Let's be real. The hard part isn't knowing what to do. It's doing it consistently. You've made lists, read books, watched videos. You've even told yourself, tomorrow's the day. But transformation doesn't come from preparation. It comes from action. There's a dangerous illusion we all fall for. Motion masquerading as action. Planning a workout is motion. Doing push-ups is action. Outlining article ideas is motion. Writing one paragraph is action. Motion feels productive, but it's often procrastination in disguise. Action is where the real change happens. Forget perfection. Just get your reps in. The secret to success isn't magic. It's just repetition. Want to be a writer? Write something every day. Want to get in shape? Move your body today. Picture a line in the sand. On one side, the habit is clunky and effortful. On the other, it's second nature. That line is called the habit line, and every small action you take is a step toward it. Change doesn't demand greatness, it demands consistency. So work slowly, but never backward. Chapter 12. The Law of Least Effort. Why do we scroll instead of stretching? Why do we snack instead of prepping? Simple. We are wired to conserve energy. When faced with two options, your brain will almost always choose the one that requires less energy. We have to understand that the habit isn't the goal, it's the tool. You don't want to work out, you want strength. You don't want to budget, you want freedom. But if the tool feels hard to use, you will not use it. That's why the third law of behavior change is make it easy. Want to plan your next day? Put a notebook on your bedside. You want to eat healthier? Prep your veggies in advance. The best habits are not forced, they are engineered. If your gym is across town, you will skip it. If your meals aren't prepped, you will order junk food. That's friction, and friction kills consistency. Now reverse it. Gym on the way to work, you will go. Healthy meals prepped on Sunday, you'll eat clean. Good habits aren't the only ones that respond to effort. Bad habits also, so make them difficult. Unplug the TV and hide the remote to avoid watching too much. Move the soda to the back of the fridge so you avoid it altogether. One little barrier can stop a bad habit in its tracks. Discipline isn't about trying harder, it's about making the easiest option more convenient. Chapter 13. How to stop procrastinating with the 2-minute rule. The truth is, most habits die before they start. Why? Because you're trying to be perfect from day one. Here's a game changer. When you start a new habit, it should take less than 2 minutes to do. Because success doesn't begin with intensity. It begins with showing up. Want to work up? Do one push-up. Want to journal? Write just one sentence. These small acts are gateway habits, easy entry point that lead you down to the path of bigger change. Don't aim for big, aim for easy. Ambition is great, but starting too big is why most people quit. Here's the secret. When it's easy to win, you will keep playing. By keeping the entry point ridiculously small, you lower the resistance and build the rhythm. Once it's a habit, you can develop. Repetition builds identity. Even showing up for 2 minutes is a vote for your identity. The person who puts on their gym shoes becomes someone who exercises. The person who opens their journal becomes someone who reflects. Small starts lead to big shifts. So start tiny, repeat daily, and grow endlessly. Chapter 14. How to make good habits inevitable and bad habits impossible. If you want lasting change, stop relying on willpower and start using commitment devices to outsmart yourself. This is the impression of the third law of behavior change. Make bad habits hard. A commitment device is simply a way to outwit your weaker impulses. Examples. Set a smart outlet timer to shut off your Wi-Fi every night at 10 p.m., forcing yourself to sleep. Set your bank account to automatically invest a portion of your income before you can touch it. You're not fighting your bad habits, you're just removing that opportunity. Increase friction, so you make the wrong behavior inconvenient, even annoying. Want to stop binge watching? Set a timer for your TV. Want to eat better? Don't keep junk food in the house. You will not eat what you cannot reach. Automate good decisions. Set up your life so the right behavior happens without thinking. Set up other deductions for saving. Subscribe to a healthy need kit. These are one-time choices that deliver long-term results. Chapter 15. The fourth law. Make it satisfying. The cardinal rule of behavior change. Your brain's values now more than later, which is why quitting smoking or saving money is so hard. Many of the best habits, however, offer delayed rewards, and that's the challenge. How to bypass that? Make the immediate experience satisfying. Want to save money? Set up a visual tracker every time you resist an unnecessary purchase so you can see your savings. Want to avoid junk food? Each time you pass on a snack, move that money into a treat yourself savings jar. Even if the reward is small, the satisfaction creates momentum. It gets your brain. That was worth it. Let's do it again. Use the same rule to break bad habits. The fourth law also works in the reverse. Make bad habits unsatisfying. Focus on the real cause of your habit by telling yourself, this junk food drains my energy and my money. It doesn't lift my mood. Chapter 16. How to stick with good habits every day. One of the most powerful feelings in life is the feeling of making progress. But how do you stay consistent even when motivation fades? You need to make progress visible by gamifying your growth. Examples. A salesman moves one paperclip after every call. A writer shifts a hairpin after each page. This way, you're collecting wins, building streaks, and leveling up. Why? Because tracking taps into all four laws of behavior change. It's obvious, you can see it. It's attractive, it feels good. It's easy, you just one check. And finally, it's satisfying. It's an instant proof of progress. Never miss twice. Slipping up isn't the problem. Quitting is. Everyone misses a day now and then. Life happens to everyone. But missing once is an accident. Missing twice is the start of a new habit. So even doing something small, 5 push-ups, writing 1 paragraph, or doing just 5 minutes of focus keeps the habit alive. Don't put up a 0. Chapter 17. How an accountability partner can change everything. This chapter flips the fourth law of behavior change. Instead of making a habit satisfying to reinforce it, you make a bad habit unsatisfying to break it. We're more likely to change when the consequences of failure are immediate and public. Want to raise the stakes even more? Create a habit contract, a written or verbal agreement that defines your goal or habit, your commitment to doing it, the consequence if you don't follow through, the person or people holding you accountable. Example, Brian Harris wanted to lose weight. He made a contract with his wife and trainer that stipulates that he would track food daily, weigh himself daily. If he failed, he had to dress up every day, no hoodies, no jeans, and give his trainer $200. It worked because it added real consequences to inaction. If a failure hurts, you will fix it. Chapter 18. The truth about talent. Want to stick to a habit long term? Choose one that feels satisfying, something that energizes you instead of draining you. You're not required to follow someone else's habits. Ask yourself, what feels like fun to me but work to others? Where do I get better results with less efforts? What comes naturally to me? You can customize almost any good habit to match your strength. Want to be fit but hate the gym? Try hiking, dancing, or martial arts. Want to learn but hate textbooks? Try audiobooks, podcasts, or YouTube breakdowns. You want to write but dislike long essays? Try microblogs or Twitter threads. There's always a version of the habit that works for your personality. You just need to find it. Chapter 19. The Goldilocks Rule. How to stay motivated in life and work. The Goldilocks Rule states that humans experience peak motivation when working on tasks that are just beyond their current ability. Not too hard, not too easy. When something is too easy, it's boring. When it's too hard, it's overwhelming. But when it's just right, you are in the zone. Boredom is the silent killer of good habits. Keep the habit simple, then stretch it. In the beginning, just show up. Once the habit is established, add just a tiny stretch. Small upgrades keep the habit fresh, and they keep you growing. Chapter 20. The downside of creating good habits. Mastering a habit frees your brain to focus on new challenges, but once a routine becomes second nature, you risk tuning out important feedback. You become blind to small mistakes, and those mistakes compound. That's why even experts plateau. They rely on what's comfortable rather than pushing to grow. The fix? Deliberate practice, which is a focused form of practice aimed at improving through constant feedback and repetition. To achieve that, try to timely review your habits. Every couple of months or weeks, ask yourself, what went well? What didn't? And why? What did I learn? How can I improve? These checks-in help you stay intentional, even as your habits run on autopilot. One of the biggest dangers of habit formation is becoming too attached to an identity like, I'm a runner. But what happens if you get injured and can't run anymore? If your entire identity is wrapped up in one role, any disruption can feel like a crisis. That's why you need to define yourself more broadly. Don't let your identity box you in. Instead of saying, I'm a runner, say, I'm someone who seeks out physical challenges. This mindset is flexible. It allows you to evolve. Chapter 21. Conclusion. The secret to results that last. True change doesn't come from one big breakthrough. It comes from atomic habits, small improvements stacked on top of each other, repeated consistently over time. That's why James Clear builds the 4 laws of behavior change. 1. Make it obvious. 2. Make it attractive. 3. Make it easy. And 4. Make it satisfying. Whenever you get stuck, return to these laws. You don't need more discipline. You need better design. There's no final destination with habits. You don't arrive at discipline. You evolve constantly. Habits are never a one-and-done fix. They are a system for lifelong growth. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. So build better systems, and your future takes care of itself. So start small, stay consistent, and never stop refining your systems. Small habits, big results. That's the secret, my friend. Elevate helps you thrive.